I was supposed to be retired, 87 years old, widowed, living alone in a house that suddenly felt too big, too quiet, too full of ghosts. My granddaughter thought she was helping when she signed me up for a senior tech workshop at some startup downtown. She said, "Grandma, you need to get out of the house before you become one of those people who yells at clouds." I went to prove her wrong. I stayed because I accidentally became the world's oldest intern and changed everything. My name is Margaret Chen. For 40 years, I ran payroll for a manufacturing company in Cleveland. I remember when computer meant a room full of women with adding machines. I remember carbon paper. I remember when the worst thing on a Monday was the mimeograph machine jamming. By 2023, I was that stereotype you see in movies, the elder confused by smartphones, the woman who still writes checks at the grocery store, the person who calls the help desk because her internet is broken when she accidentally hit the Wi-Fi button. My granddaughter Maya drove me to the workshop. The building had a slide inside, an actual slide between floors for adults. The workshop was supposed to be 2 hours. Basic computer skills for seniors, how to avoid scams, how to video call your family without accidentally turning yourself into a potato. I was the oldest person there by at least 15 years. The instructor was 26-year-old Derek, speaking in that particular way young people do when they're trying to be patient with the elderly. Slow, loud, like I was hard of hearing instead of just old. When he said we needed our birth certificate on the form for demographic purposes, I had a few words about that. The room went quiet, and something changed in Derek's face. Not annoyance, surprise, then, weirdly, respect. After the workshop, Derek found me waiting for Maya. He asked, "What do you actually want to learn?" I told him the truth, that my husband died in 2019, that my friends were dying or moving to Florida, that I could feel my brain turning to mush watching game shows and waiting for death. Derek was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Our payroll person just quit, no notice, walked out. We have 73 employees and no one who knows how to do any of that." I told him, "I know payroll." He said it was technically an internship for college credit. I said I was 87. I wasn't getting college credit. He said, "Then it's a really weird internship." I should have said no. Every rational thought said no. But I was tired of being rational, tired of waiting to die in a house full of memories. I started on a Monday. The company was called FlowState. Everyone was under 30. Everyone wore headphones. Everyone looked at me like I was a hallucination. They gave me a laptop I didn't know how to turn on, a phone I didn't know how to answer, and a problem that made me feel alive for the first time in years. The payroll system was a disaster, not because it was broken, because it was lazy. The previous person had been cutting corners for months, misclassified contractors, missed tax deadlines, a house of cards, and I was looking at the bottom card. 3 days in, I found it. A programmer named James had been paid as a contractor for 8 months when he was legally an employee. The company owed $15,000 in back taxes and penalties. I walked into the founder's office, Ryan, 29 years old, playing with a fidget spinner on a video call. I waited until he hung up, then dropped the paperwork on his desk. He asked how you found it. I told him, "I know payroll. You know whatever it is you do here. We each have skills." That night, Ryan called me at home. "Can you stay past the internship? We need you." I said, "I'm 87. I could die mid-payroll." He said, "Then we'll name the conference room after you." I said, "Make it the good one, with the windows." Things got weird after that. I learned their software, not because I wanted to, but because I needed to understand what these people actually did. I started asking questions, hard questions. Why does this take 10 steps when it could take 3? They started calling me the Margaret, like I was a force of nature. A programmer named Sophia asked me to test their new feature. "You're the only person here who actually reads the instructions," she said. I broke it in 6 minutes. That's not possible, she said. I'm 87, I said. Everything breaks for me. If I can use it, anyone can. They made me their Chief Confusion Officer. Official title, business cards and everything. My job was to be confused, to ask obvious questions, to not understand the jargon. And it worked, because I genuinely didn't understand why they made things so complicated. My confusion forced them to explain things simply, for actual humans. The product got better, support tickets went down, sales went up. I started teaching lunch and learn sessions on Fridays, not about technology, about things they didn't know they needed. How to write a professional email, how to negotiate salary, how to spot a company that's about to lay you off. Someone recorded me explaining tax withholdings to a 24-year-old who thought gross pay meant disgusting money. They posted it online with the caption, "My 87-year-old intern just destroyed everything I thought I knew about adulthood." It got 10 million views in 3 days. Ryan wanted to capitalize on it. "Margaret, we could do a series. Margaret explains the world." I said no. Because I'm not a novelty, I'm a person. I came here to work, not to be your grandma mascot. He looked ashamed. "You're right, I'm sorry." "Good. Now make me a real offer. Director of Operations, benefits, the good parking spot, and I want to hire 3 more seniors." It's been 18 months. I hired a 72-year-old former librarian who reorganized our documentation so well that support calls dropped 40%, a 68-year-old retired nurse who handles employee wellness, an 81-year-old former small business owner who teaches our sales team how to actually talk to people. We call it the Silver Squad. I hate the name. They love it. I let them have it. Maya still drives me to work when the weather's bad. She says I've become annoyingly competent with technology. I tell her I've always been competent. I just needed something worth being competent for. I'm 89 now. I still do payroll every other Friday. I still break their software on purpose. I still bring my own coffee. Here's what I learned and what I want you to remember. Age is not a skill set. It's not a limitation. It's just time. And time gives you perspective that no amount of coding boot camps can teach you. The world wants to put you in boxes: retired, elderly, irrelevant. Don't let them. If you're watching this and you're young, find a senior. Actually talk to them. They know things. If you're watching this and you're old, it's not too late. The world still needs you. I promise. I'm Margaret Chen. I'm 89 years old, and I'm just getting started.